Hey everybody, I'm Dinosaurs and this is Dinosaurs, the show where we get distracted from making Sonic videos by making videos about K-pop demon hunters.
When I see you, it's on sight! It is on!
Building custom MTG cards is something I like to do in my spare time, so I figured I should make a video and share with all of you the crazy things my head comes up with, and I thought what better avenue to do so than the recent Netflix drop. But before we get to the cards, I want to talk about each character a little bit and describe sort of the setting of the movie, just to give some insight on the choices that I made in designing these cards, and let you know why they are the way they are. And if you disagree with any of the choices I made, please let me know in the comments below. I am curious to see what everybody thinks of these and if they feel flavorfully accurate, but also balanced to Magic the Gathering. Also, two things I want to mention up front. One, I'm going to try really hard not to spoil any major plot points from the movie, so when you're done with this video, you can go watch it. And two, I designed these cards through MTG Design just because that's what I'm most comfortable with using. So that's where I made the cards, if you're wondering. So the members of Huntr all use their voices to make incredible music, but also fight demons and ignite people's souls, which in turn empowers their demon fighting abilities more and creates a magical barrier called the Moon, which effectively keeps the world from getting overrun by demons. It sort of creates this magic loop of good music and good vibes. The first Huntr member we're going to be talking about is Zoey. We find out pretty quickly that Zoey is a rapper and the main lyricist of Huntr. She also uses throwing weapons called Shinkal. She's the most upbeat, optimistic, and energetic of the three members of Huntr. So here is Zoey, Lyrical Savant. For red, red, white, you get a 3/4 human bard with haste, and whenever Zoey attacks, you may sacrifice an equipment attached to Zoey. If you do, Zoey deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of targets where X is your devotion to red, as well as equipment spells you cast have Convoke. So, admittedly, I'm stretching the fans empowering the Moon a little bit to the fans empowering their weapons. But after a quick Google search, the general consensus online seems to be that they are pulling their weapons from the Moon and can do so as long as there is a little bit of Moon, even if it is just a little bit of Moon to pull from. Thus, equipment Convoke. The other ability is a little easier to explain in that the Shinkal that Zoey uses can be thrown, so you can effectively point that ability wherever you want and either split it up or focus it on fewer targets. The reason she sacrifices them is because it seems like when she needs more in the movie, she will just create more from the Moon as opposed to going and retrieving them. Otherwise, the ability on the card would be that you unattach the equipment. Interestingly, in the movie, we actually see on more than one occasion Zoey chooses to use her Shinkal as a melee weapon as opposed to a ranged weapon. This could be because it puts strain on the Moon if she's constantly needing to reload. But hey, that's just something that seems like a cool detail that may or may not be accurate. Finally, the devotion to red is to represent the devotion they have to the fans and the devotion the fans have to them.
For the fans!
And spoiler alert for this video, this is not the first time we will be talking about things being red aligned. Speaking of, the next member of Huntr we're talking about is Mira. She's the dance expert of Huntr and plans all the moves you see on stage. She's overly blunt, short-fused, and highly aggressive. The weapon she uses is called a Gokdo and is primarily a slashing weapon, but she also uses it for mobility during combat. So for Mira, we have Mira, Deadly Choreographer. For 2 red, 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 you get a 6/4 human bard with trample, first strike, and dash for 3 and a red. Dash will basically let us get a discount on Mira. She gets haste when she enters, and then we bounce her back to our hand at the beginning of the next end step. Trying to emphasize the mobility there with the entering and leaving the battlefield ability from Dash. Mira also says when Mira enters the battlefield, it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. So since Dash has you bounce Mira on your end step, you can have her enter, have her fight something, swing in with her, and then bounce her again, and rinse and repeat. I would like to draw your attention to the highly aggressive part of her description, and not to spoil anything integral to the movie, but that is a direct quote. The triple red in her mana cost not only shows just how aggressive Mira is, but it also synergizes with Zoey's devotion ability. You'll also notice that Mira has a way to get haste, and Zoey has haste innately. That's because several times in the movie, we see Zoey and Mira engage enemies first, usually running in ahead of Rumi. Speaking of, let's talk about Rumi. Rumi is the lead vocalist of Huntr and arguably the main protagonist of the movie. Her voice is said to be so incredible, it literally brings fans to tears. She's a workaholic, she is as passionate about her friends and the fans as the other members of Huntr, but she's emotionally closed off and puts up walls and keeps people at arm's length because she's worried about them getting too close. Her weapon of choice is a Sungyum style of sword that she, like her fellow Huntr members, summons from the Honmoon. With all that in mind, this is Rumi, Honmoon's voice. For 1 red hybrid white-blue, you get a 4/4 human bard. I know they're all human bards, but what else were they going to be? Rumi says, whenever you cast a spell with Convoke, Rumi gets +X+0 until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures that convoke that spell. If X is 5 or more, you may pay 0 rather than pay the equip cost of the next equip ability you activate this turn. This ability triggers only once each turn. So, we've got 2 red pips to help with Zoey's devotion ability, and we're bringing back Convoke because we're equating your creatures convoking your spells to releasing new music. The fans love it and empower Rumi. Then, equipping weapons becomes easier as well if enough fans like your music. I know this won't help my case, but I thought it would be funny to continue this line of thought and introduce some songs from Huntrx's newest album. We've got Calamity of Cinders, City on Fire, and Hour of Reckoning. I guess it's a metal album. Also, if you've seen the movie, you'll probably notice something that is poignantly not on Rumi's card that I did not put on there because spoilers. I figured the flavor here was pretty self-explanatory and goes into that cycle I mentioned earlier about the fans empowering Huntr and Huntr empowering the Honmoon. The Honmoon's main function of keeping demons away doesn't really come into play in these cards. I wasn't really sure how to add it other than protection from demons, and that didn't really feel right or that interesting, to be honest, on the members of Huntr. But it could be its own separate enchantment. Maybe if I keep making videos like this, I can do one. Speaking of which, if you made it this far into the video, I wanted to say a huge thank you. I really like building things, and it's not even the first time I've done it on this channel. If anybody remembers my You Can Try series from D&D, heck, I even made my own subclasses for D&D 5e back in the day. I actually made a bunch of MTG Marvel cards back when they first announced that they were going to be doing their crossover, and those have just been sitting on my computer doing nothing for the longest time. It's something I've always liked doing. I liked doing that back then. I like creating custom Magic cards now, so I really appreciate anybody who watched the video. Anyway, regardless of any of that, if there's any details you think I missed on the Huntr cards or anything you might add or change, let me know in the comments. Just try not to spoil the movie for other people. Also, if you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments if there is anything else you might want to see made into a Magic the Gathering video, and I might be able to make it if I do these styles of videos again. If you want to support anything I do on this channel, please consider liking, subscribing, and hitting the bell. And if you want to see more random Magic ramblings, go follow me on Bluesky. If you want to see more Magic ramblings live, go follow me on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/DiceAndDinosaurs and Bluesky @DiceAndDinosaurs. Alright, I gotta get back to my Sonic scripts, so have a great day, everybody. I will see everyone in the next video. Goodbye!